Welcome back, everyone. Maximum Effort. Ryan Reynolds keeps posting more teasers for some kind of Deadpool Christmas special event that he's doing, leading everyone to think he actually is doing a real Deadpool holiday celebration of some kind this year. And the funny thing is, he's already actually written an entire Deadpool holiday special years ago before they ever started making Deadpool and Wolverine. So we'll break it all down, because Marvel does have a long history of doing holiday specials, and they're even doing a Deadpool holiday special separately right now that you can actually go see. If you're brand new to the channel, be sure to subscribe to get all the videos. There's a bunch of big stuff coming up before the end of the year. Speaking of holiday special, Marvel is releasing the What If Season 3 episodes once per day through the Christmas holiday at the end of the year. When most people think about Marvel holiday specials, they think of the Guardians of the Galaxy holiday special, which is more of a parody of the Star Wars holiday special back in the 70s. All the different Deadpool holiday specials and Marvel holiday specials are more straight-up parodies of actual Christmas holidays or previous Christmas stories, like A Christmas Carol, for instance, or The Night Before Christmas. But the reason why everyone thinks that Ryan Reynolds is actually making some Christmas or holiday-themed special is a series of posts that he's been making on his social accounts for the past month that have not been released yet. During all the posts, he's in the new version of the Deadpool suit from Deadpool and Wolverine, filming in Blind Owl's new apartment with her. There's Christmas decorations everywhere around the apartment behind them, and in his newest video, like just a couple days ago, he took out the audio so you can't actually hear what he's saying, and he's speaking a lot to camera, so you do kind of wonder what he is saying. But he's added a snow filter, and he keeps panning the camera over so you can see in the background he's in the middle of filming with Santa's sleigh in the Deadpool suit. So confirmed, full-on Christmas thing that he's doing, whatever it is. You do not get more Christmas than Santa's sleigh.
So sit back, hold on to your ornaments, guzzle a little eggnog, at least that looks like eggnog, and prepare yourself because it's time for St. Wade to put the win in Winter Wonderland.
It's totally possible that he's filming some special Christmas-themed promos, like shorter videos, to promote some Deadpool and Wolverine-related thing. Marvel really is going to keep making them do this until they're 90. And he did film some new material with Blind Owl recently, but none of it that he's released so far features any of the Christmas decorations that we've seen before. Like, this is a totally new clip that they just released.
Sweet baby Jesus, you're here?
Jesus, how many senses are you missing?
I thought I was listening to the DVD commentary.
Ah! DVD. It's streaming exclusively on Disney+.
They're streaming this trash?
That's right. They'll stream anything.
It sounds like the holiday and Christmas themed stuff is for like a totally separate holiday-specific event. Like I said, though, years ago, Ryan Reynolds said that he already wrote an entire Deadpool holiday special that would have featured a full-on Christmas movie, him doing song and dance numbers. Because of the Hugh Jackman of it all, he's a song and dance man, big Broadway guy. But he said they wrote it before Disney bought Fox, and when that happened, Kevin Feige basically put the kibosh on all the X-Men and other related Marvel projects that Fox had been working on their own at the time. So there were like a bunch of X-Men sequels that they were planning. Channing Tatum's Gambit movie, for instance, they were still making. All that stuff got canceled when Disney bought Fox. There were a bunch of jokes that he made about that in the opening of Deadpool and Wolverine. Like, been a long time, Disney bought Fox, it was a whole thing. Ryan Reynolds said that that movie would have been a legit Deadpool Christmas movie, not a short special. He did ultimately wind up doing a Christmas movie, like very Christmas movie, but it was the Will Ferrell team-up Spirited movie a couple years ago. Didn't think it was that great of a movie, but he did do a full-on song and dance number, which Hugh Jackman then proceeded to clown on big time. That whole movie was sort of a spin on A Christmas Carol with him in the Ebenezer Scrooge type role. Last year, Karen Sony, who plays Dopinder in all the Deadpool movies, we just saw him come back in Deadpool and Wolverine, said that at one point early in the development of what Deadpool and Wolverine turned into, before Hugh Jackman had signed on to come back, before it did turn into Deadpool and Wolverine, they were trying to make a Deadpool Saves Christmas movie with Deadpool and Dopinder traveling to the North Pole together. The way he talked about it, he made it sound like it was another Planes, Trains, and Automobiles kind of parody. The idea is that Ryan Reynolds is like the biggest John Candy stan in real life. He's a favorite comedian of all time. So anytime he gets a chance to reference John Candy in anything that he's doing, not just the Deadpool stuff, but all of his other stuff, he will do it. There were many, many planes, trains, and automobiles references during Deadpool and Wolverine. It sounds like what happened with that is that Ryan Reynolds took his Deadpool Christmas movie that he had written while they were still at Fox and then tried to use it again in like a new context for Deadpool 3 at Disney in the MCU. As we saw, Kevin Feige summarily rejected that pitch for some reason, like he wanted to do a regular Deadpool movie first. I did a separate video about all the alternate versions of the movie that they said they came up with before Kevin Feige said yes. There were like 20 different Deadpool movies that apparently Kevin Feige said no to before they landed on Deadpool and Wolverine. But Marvel has a long history of doing holiday stories, and Marvel has already started doing Deadpool holiday specials at Disneyland. There's been at least 3 so far. They just started doing A Christmas Carol with Deadpool and Wolverine. It's a parody of Charles Dickens' Christmas Carol with the Marvel and X-Men characters replacing all the original characters. Like, Charles Dickens becomes Charles Xavier Dickens. And the funny thing about that is that in real life a couple years ago, Patrick Stewart also did his own version of reading the original Christmas Carol story. But it's not a parody in his case, like he's just reading the original book story. But you can think of it as Professor X reads A Christmas Carol.
Once upon a time, and of all the good days in the year, on Christmas Eve, old Scrooge was busy in his counting house.
Deadpool's version involves Wolverine becoming the Ebenezer Scrooge, and Deadpool becomes the Bob Cratchit of that story. Marvel also just did Deadpool's version of A Night Before Christmas. 'Twas the night before Christmas, and all through this safe house, not a creature was stirring, not even a mouse. Not Elektra, nor Blade, or that weirdo, Gambit. He makes a bunch of Quicksilver X-Men jokes, and then Wolverine winds up crashing the story, and he turns into a version of Santapool in the story. Several years ago, they also did a Deadpool Saves Christmas story. Christmas comes and goes, and basically a bunch of kids wind up creating a GoFundMe to hire Deadpool to kill Santa because he didn't deliver presents to any of the children of the world. Deadpool goes to the North Pole, fights Santa, and then learns that an evil elf stole all of his helper elves and is forcing them to work to the death at a Roxxon plant. Deadpool ultimately saves them and saves Christmas, and things go back to normal. Santa Claus himself has actually been a Marvel character for a long time. His very first appearance in Marvel was during 1954 during Strange Tales number 34, and it wasn't like a traditional Marvel Universe kind of story with characters that you normally recognize. It was just a random scientist encountering a version of Santa Claus in real life. He didn't really become an actual traditional Marvel character in this sense until Marvel's Holiday Special number 1 in 1991. The reason why Marvel made him a mutant is because around the 80s, early 90s, the X-Men were becoming the most popular comic at Marvel, most popular characters, so they're making crazy money on all their X-Men stuff. Because they were bringing in so many readers through their X-Men titles, Chris Claremont would do fun bonus one-off holiday types of stories. Really easy for brand new readers who weren't familiar with the continuity to just pick up. So you have like your main Phoenix arc sagas that are super popular, everybody loves them, but then you have all these new readers just jumping on with these one-offs. After he wound up leaving the title and Scott Lobdell took over, he wrote Marvel Holiday Special number 1 in 1991, and that's where he turned Santa Claus into an actual mutant inside the MCU. During that story, the X-Men are decorating the Christmas tree, celebrating the holiday at the X-Mansion, when Cerebro detects the most powerful mutant it's ever registered, and they discover that it winds up being Santa Claus, like he's a real person and secretly an Omega-level mutant. The X-Men follow the source of the signal before they know that it's Santa and find the Brotherhood of Mutants who also show up there getting the same type of signal. After they battle it out, Santa Claus shows up and uses his power to turn the Brotherhood of Mutants into action figures and then explains who he is and what his powers are. There have been a couple different types of stories with Santa Claus across Marvel Comics, but during this era, his powers were immortality, telepathy, telekinesis, teleportation, weather manipulation, matter and molecular manipulation, and gravity manipulation. So basically, he could destroy the entire planet, then completely rematerialize it and everyone in it with a snap of his fingers, to make an Infinity Gauntlet reference. Speaking of which, there is the famous story of Santa Claus wielding the Infinity Gauntlet that everybody points to. That's also a one-off Marvel holiday story that happened a little bit later, and during that story, it just picks up with Santa Claus already wielding the Infinity Gauntlet, fighting the Illuminati, and he's more the antagonist. Once they calm him down and he comes to his senses, he apologizes for what he's done and explains the only reason why he assembled the Infinity Gauntlet was so that he could perform all of his tasks as Santa Claus delivering presents. And Iron Man winds up helping him out by making a bunch of Stark Tech reindeer bots that will help him do it, like a bunch of Iron Legion Ultron bots, but that are reindeer. David Harbour, who plays Red Guardian in the Thunderbolts, also just starred in Violent Night, which is a very stabby version of a Santa Claus story. If Marvel actually ever does do a live-action version of Santa Claus, he should play him without the accent and with a few prosthetics so that it just doesn't look like Red Guardian in a Santa suit. But there was that period in the 90s when they were in America pretending to be that family so they could steal state secrets, where they would have been pretending to practice all the typical American holidays like Christmas. So it is possible that Red Guardian at one point did dress up as Santa Claus during one of those holidays.
Who is this old Santa?
The Red Guardian.
What?
They literally just made a joke about that during the Thunderbolts trailer with Val calling him a Santa Claus because he does look a little bit like Santa Claus, but it was also them clowning on the fact that he just did the Violent Night movie. So even though Deadpool is really like the most meta character in the MCU next to someone like She-Hulk, it was the Thunderbolts trailer getting a little meta. Everybody let me know in the comments though, do you want to see Ryan Reynolds do an actual Deadpool holiday special of some kind? Just feels like it's too easy of a slam dunk for Marvel to do at some point, even if it's not this year, for like next year or the year after or something like that, because it probably will be at least like 4 or 5 years before they do the next Deadpool movie. I just did that much longer Deadpool and Wolverine deleted scenes video. Click here for that, and click here to learn all about What If Season 3 X-Men coming back for the holidays this year. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.